What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing commentary on my Blackthorn City match. This week we're playing SanderVGC. This is week 1 of the league, and we're going to be using a very cool Araquanid team built by Jawnzu. He has released a video recently where he took this team to the S13 Masterball tier. And he did get a win there, so check it out. He does have a team report as well as a paste. And this video is going to really highlight the strengths of the team, so I just wanted to go back and feature how well this team is built and what it can do. So as you see here, my opponent has Celesteela, Urshifu, Whimsicott, Neolego, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. This is a tough matchup for my team. It is very doable, but he does have the double fake out paired with Urshifu, which is very strong, and he does also have Tailwind, so some things that are going to be tough to deal with here. So I'm thinking at first that I should lead Rillaboom, that way I will have Fake Out, as well as have Grassy Glide into Urshifu if that is Urshifu Water. I do decide I want to lead Spectrier, that way I can't be faked out on my side of the board. And then I'm thinking Porygon and Aleki in the back. But I decide I want to switch and lead with Regieleki, bring Rillaboom in the back, that way I have it as a switch in along with Porygon too. If I keep Aleki in the back, then I don't have great switch ins if I need to reposition, so I just feel like this gives me more options going into the match. So he does lead Whimsicott and Urshifu here, so he is threatening a Tailwind right into a Surging Strikes. But that's why we led Spectrier, because we do have Will-O-Wisp here, so we just go for the Will-O-Wisp into Urshifu. This is a very bulky Regieleki, but we don't want to risk it from the start, so we're just going to pivot out into the Boomer. Boomer comes in, grassy terrain pops off. And we do see that Urshifu smartly goes for the Protect here, so scouting my Spectrier set here. He does go for the Tailwind, but now we're pressuring with the fake out Grassy Glide, so we know Urshifu is gonna swap out here. I'm checking his team again to see who I think is gonna switch in here. I'm thinking it's probably Nihilego or Incineroar coming in, so I decide to go for the Snarl, just play it safe, lower the damage output on Whimsicott, and if Nihi comes in, and we can get the special attack drop on it as well. But it is Incineroar coming in here. So probably should have called that, went for the fake out on Whimsicott just to stall some Tailwind turns here, but we do get a little bit of chip damage on Incineroar here as Moonblast comes out onto Spectrier. Takes that pretty well. We get the Snarl off, gets a little more chip on Incineroar there, and the special attack drop on Whimsicott. So now he is pressuring fake out of his own, but if he fakes out Rillaboom here, then he's not doing a whole lot of damage to us here now that Whimsicott has been snarled. So I do decide that I want to start working on getting Whimsicott off the board. That way I can prevent the Tailwind from going up for the second time if possible. We are just gonna hard switch into P2 here. So out comes the duck here. We do get the special attack download boost, so that is very clutch. As you see, taunt does come out here, so this makes me think that a parting shot is coming out and Urshifu will be coming back in. So they went ahead and got the taunt on Spectrier to make sure that we can't go for any Will-O-Wisp. But parting shot goes into Porygon to negate that download boost. So good positioning here by Sander. Made sure that I couldn't get the Will-O-Wisp here, and brought Urshifu back in when Rillaboom was off the board. So I'm expecting a close combat into Porygon here. He is also threatening to taunt if I try to go for the Trick Room. So just try to get the Shadow Ball off into Whim and switch back out into Boomer, expecting the taunt. He does go for the Helping Hand though, so Helping Hand, Surging Strikes coming out here into Spectrier, so he reads the switch there. We could have actually gotten off the Trick Room there, but that's okay. Spectrier does go down, but now we have Rillaboom back on the board to pressure Fake Out. And Tailwind is getting close to running out here. We do have good chip damage on the Whimsicott here. So don't want to bring Alecki out before the Tailwind is dealt with. So thinking hard about it, but looks like Porygon 2 is going to be the right call here. Once again going to be expecting the taunt to come out here, so we are does get the special attack boost again, but like I said, we're expecting the taunt here, so I do just go for the Ice Beam into the Whimsicott, because if it's taunting, it's not protecting, and it can't set up Tailwind again if we knock it out. So we are pressuring Grassy Glide into Urshifu, expecting Incineroar to come back in, but we do still need to pressure that slot regardless. Grassy Terrain does end this turn though, so I am just going to hard switch out into Regieleki, because I need Boomer to be on the field with Terrain up. That way we have priority. Taunt does come out into P2. But we're not falling for that. Porygon takes the close combat fairly well here. And out comes the Ice Beam here, which will pick up the KO on Whimsicott. So now Tailwind's not going up. And Alecki is once again going to be the fastest thing on the field to really put a lot of pressure into that Urshifu. It does threaten damage into Incineroar, and we still don't know what his last is here. So out comes Incineroar, that way he can pressure the Fake Out Surging Strikes once again. Sander doing a very good job of pivoting so that he can set that up, because it's just so hard to stop. You can't protect. No way to stop the Fake Out since I don't have Psychic Terrain or Serena. So pretty much do have to pivot back out into Rillaboom to prevent Alecki from going down for free. get the grassy terrain set back up. The fake out comes out into P2 here, so we had a free shot onto the Urshifu here, which leads me to believe that it's most likely running Sash and knew that it could survive a Thunderbolt, which is very good information here. In best of 3 sets, you always want to use the first match of the set to get as much information as possible. Of course, you always want to win every match you play, but if you can get as much information on your opponent's team as far as items and movesets to set yourself up to win the next 2 games, that is going to be the important thing. So now we're pressuring our own fake out as well as Grassy Glide into the Urshifu here. You see Urshifu does retreat. We finally see that the last one is going to be Celesteela here. So Grassy Glide goes into Steela. Doesn't do a whole lot as the Flare Blitz comes out. But it is into Porygon, who hangs on 4 HP. Porygon is a champ here. Gets off the big tri-attack. And we do find out that Celesteela is leftovers. Another good piece of information here. Porygon does shake off the taunt. In this situation, not a whole lot of reason to go for Trick Room, as Porygon is really the only mon we have who can utilize it, and we want to make sure that Awakening is the fastest when he does come out. So we do just go for the U-turn off the Incineroar. We want to get Awakening back on the field to threaten this Celesteela. This is risky though, because we could take another Flare Blitz into the Rillaboom slot. But like I mentioned earlier, this is a bulky Awakening set, so it can take at least 1 attack from anything on the field. Some more good chip damage there onto Incineroar. Out comes the Heavy Slam. Down goes Porygon. We do learn that Celesteela gets a Beast Boost in its defense. Out comes the Flare Blitz here. Lecky takes that decently. And now Incineroar is very, very chipped here. So Lecky threatening big damage into both sides of the field here. And Rillaboom does come back out. So we set up fake out pressure of our own. In this situation, we know that Incineroar can't protect. Steela most likely has protect. So the safe play here is just going to be to fake out the Celesteela and then go for the Thunderbolt into the Incineroar slot. Probably could have got away with an Electrowebs here, but didn't want to risk the miss, as Incineroar does just switch out into Urshifu. So here we find out that Urshifu is indeed Focus Sash. The reason my opponent switched in Urshifu here, despite the risk of taking all that damage, is he needed to pivot Incineroar back out. That way he can set back up the pin and go for the fake out Surging Strikes play into Awakening. So expecting the Protect to come out here from Urshifu, we do still pressure the slot with the Grassy Glide, and then Thunderbolt into Celesteela. does indeed protect here. Cloud comes out into protect here. And Aleki with a huge Thunderbolt here gets the Oko on to Celesteela. But now he has set up that pin again very well. There is no way that Regieleki is going to take a fake out Surging Strikes here. We still have not seen if my opponent has Aqua Jet, but Grassy Terrain does in here. That's huge. If we still had Terrain here, he would have to fake out Rillaboom, and if he has Aqua Jet, he could try that, but because the Terrain ends, then he can just safely fake out the Aleki and take it out. Incineroar is on very low health though, while Rillaboom is almost at full. So in this situation, I just have to try to trade Aleki for Urshifu, and then hope that Rillaboom can pick up the Incineroar from here. Our Rillaboom is faster than their Incineroar. We do already know that. So there's the fake out. And the Surging only takes one shot. And there goes Reginald Aleki. Clyde does come out. So right here, I do end up going for the U-turn. I've always went for the Wood Hammer in this position, but my thought process was I could take at least one Flare Blitz, I believe, as long as I didn't have Wood Hammer chip. But as you see, U-turn almost picks up, and then Rillaboom hangs on with 3 HP like a champ. He does get burned, but Incineroar goes down to the recoil, so we do pick up a very close game 1. So this was a real nail biter. The EV spreads really making all the difference here, as we had 2 Mons survive on less than 4 HP to really turn this game around. So really shows the benefit of training your Pokemon well and really building them to be able to take certain hits depending on what you're going to be facing. So we will get into game 2 here. Alright, so here we go. Game 2. Trying to decide how I think my opponent will adjust here. So we don't want to go with the same 4 that we led into the first match. So I'm thinking of trying a different mode here. Trick Room can be very good into this team, especially now that I didn't use it in the first match. So I do decide I want to go P2 Rillaboom. That way I can try to get the fake out Trick Room. Then I'm going to bring Araquanid in the back. And we are going to go with Regieleki in case he brings Celesteela again. What we're going to be going for here is get off the Trick Room and then save Aleki in the back until Trick Room is over. That way we can bring it out and it can be the fastest thing on the field. So we see he does go Whimsicott and Incineroar here, so we are pressuring Fake Out into Whimsicott here, but he is pressuring Fake Out into our P2, so if we Fake Out Whims here, then we don't get up the Trick Room if he just goes for his own Fake Out, and then he can taunt Porygon the next turn. So great lead by my opponent here. Porygon just getting those special attack boosts. But I do decide that I'm just gonna go for it and try to fake out Whims and go for the Trick Room here. Sander, he's thinking about it. And he does make a great call here, just goes Helping Hand. So we know Fake Out's not coming on his side. Rocky Helmet chip on Rillaboom. And out comes a huge Flare Blitz here. So we saw Rillaboom could take a Flare Blitz, but it cannot take a Helping Hand Flare Blitz, and down it goes. We do trade Rillaboom for the Trick Room here. So we are down a Mon, but it is a decent trade because now we can bring Araquanid out and threaten big damage into his team here. Araquanid matches up really well into Incineroar as well as Rillaboom and Whimsicott. Not the greatest into Urshifu, but Water Bubble Liquidation does do decent damage into most everything. So we know Incineroar is going to switch out here, but we still go for the Liquidation into that slot, and then we do go for the Tri-Attack as well. That way we can catch whatever is coming in here. Try to get some status on it. That's the great thing about Tri-Attack. You can get the Burn, Freeze, or the Para. So if it's Boomer or Urshifu, we're really hoping for the Burn. But he does go for the double switch here, so brings out Boomer and Urshifu, trying to set up that pin again, where he can just fake out Surging Strikes or fake out Close Combat. So decent damage there despite it being a resisted hit. Porygon with the big Tri-Attack here, so Rillaboom is very, very low. If we had called that and went for the Leech Life, we could have just took it out there. But we are going to go for the Leech Life this turn, and then we are going to Tri-Attack into the Urshifu slot. We know it's Sash, so not a whole lot of investment. It does fake out Araquanid here, gets the crit, so big damage for fake out. But Porygon with a huge crit. Porygon is just taking names. And once again, he does take the Close Combat fairly okay. So Grassy Terrain Recovery comes out. You do have Urshifu down to Sash again. So he does have to retreat here on the Urshifu side because he could protect, but no way he can protect here with Urshifu. We still Tri-Attack into that side in case Incin comes in. We want to catch it with that Tri-Attack. Intimidate pops out, which not great for Araquanid. Glide comes out, but once again Porygon takes it like a champ, lives on 1 HP. Another clutch survival for Porygon 2 here. This thing is an absolute tank, and both of the low HP survivals really made a difference in this set. And then gets another huge crit into Incineroar here, so Porygon is determined. He is going to do his best to put us in a good position here. So expecting Urshifu to come back out while he's still able to pin us with the fake out. We are still in Trick Room here though, so if he fakes one out we can just attack into Urshifu here. So we're going to double into that side, that way whoever gets to attack can take it out. Or I'm sorry, we go for the recover on P2 if he's not faked out, but He does reveal the Aqua Jet here, and that is more than enough to take down the duck. So there he goes. He did his part though, and he did it very well. But we timed this just right. Twisted Dimensions return to normal. So now we get to bring out Regieleki. And it is the fastest thing on the field. Expecting a protect here, that way you can pivot once again to try to set back up that pin, or possibly get Whimsicott back on the field for that late game tailwind. The right call here would have been to leech life into that slot, expecting Ensign to switch out. That way I may have been able to pick up the Whimsicott here. But we get some chip damage on it with the Electrowebs here. And then the Liquidation comes out. It is intimidated and resisted, so not a whole lot of damage here. So he is pressuring the Tailwind into Surging Strikes here. And with him being Sash, most likely he will outspeed Alecki in Tailwind. And we do see that is the case here, as out comes a huge Surging Strikes into the Alecki spot. There's one. There's two. Can he? Can he? And he can. Alecki lives on 2 HP, so another huge survival here. Gets off the Electrowebs to pick up the KO on Urshifu. And then Araquanid wants to get in on the action here, so a big Liquidation comes out here to finish off the Whimsicott with another critical hit. So my mons were just determined to win this game with the survivals and the crits. They were not taking names here. So out comes Ensign. Even with Tailwind, nothing he can do here, because one attack from either side will finish this off. So a very great set. Both matches very, very close. Could have went either way. The 4 different under 5 HP survivals that I got in this game made all the difference and really turned this around, allowed me to win this set. GG's to my opponent. Sander played very, very well, but the Spider shows his supremacy here. So like I said, go check out Jawnzu's video, pick up that rental code as well as the paste, and try out the team, see how you like it. Thanks for stopping by. Please like and subscribe. Be releasing more VGC content in the coming days, really trying to ramp it up here leading into Scarlet Violet. So thanks for stopping by.